Just once, I would like to listen to this cursed podcast and not entertain such rambling zombie takeout. Hello and welcome to episode 560 of Zombie Takeout, the B-Movie and Cult Movie Show. I'm John.
And I'm Scotto.
And before we get to this week's movie, I had a realization about the MCU a couple days ago. I was on Disney Plus because I got Disney Plus for Mall Shadow Lord, which was fucking amazing. Then I got into Alien Earth and Letterkenny, so I'm keeping it. And I was looking through seeing which MCU movies I haven't seen yet. And I had a realization that I know I was looking at them wrong, and I think a lot of people were. I was looking at them as a movie series, because they're movies, where you have to see every one of them to understand what's going on. They're comic books.
They've tried to do their best to make it so you could just stumble into one and, watch it on its own.
No one who's into comic books reads every title in the universe. You follow your favorites.
That's true.
You dip in and out of other things, as needed. You might, check something out here and there. So I think the key for not getting overwhelmed by the MCU is just stick to the ones you'll like. For me, it's Avengers, it's Black Panther, Guardians. If they ever do another Shang-Chi, and Doctor Strange. Those are the ones I really care about. So I'm just not going to bother with the others.
It is tough to figure out which ones to invest the 2+ hours into.
I feel like at this point, for most of the main ones, if you at least watch the first two phases, which you're interested in at this point, whatever it may be. You already know which ones you like, and I could give a fuck about Ant-Man.
Yeah, I don't think I could get into that. I mean, I've seen Shang-Chi, that was good. We reviewed it, right?
Yeah. Well, Shang-Chi, again, if they do another one. But, I was feeling overwhelmed about having to get back into all of these movies if I wanted to keep up, especially with the TV stuff, because I'm caught up on most of the movies. I'm way behind on the TV stuff because I didn't have these Disney Plus for a long time. I don't want to bother with any of that, and I'm not going to bother with any of that now. I'm just going to watch the titles I'm interested in, which is about a quarter of them, and treat it like a comic book. And that's just my advice to anyone else feeling overwhelmed by the MCU because you think you have to watch everything to keep up. You don't. Just follow the stuff you're interested in. Think of it like a comic book universe because that's how they're treating it.
I think that's what they've been trying to do with Star Wars, except
interesting.
No one lays off anything.
Mm-hmm.
It's watched, it's grumbled about.
Oh yeah. Except Shadow Lord. Nobody's bitched about Shadow Lord because it's a fucking grimdark, testosterone-laden bad guy show.
Well, yeah, that is the difference between that and Acolyte is that the testosterone is plentiful there, and the motherhood there.
Even though half of Acolyte's story is in Shadow Lord.
Yeah.
I mean, and I personally think Shadow Lord did it better, but.
So, you're all on board for the final showdown there. I had it spoiled a little bit, of course, because people could not shut their yap, even at I'm trying to think of what time of day it was when I was at work when it was Darth Vader. I was like, you're an asshole.
It aired, I think, was it last Monday that it aired?
It started at midnight of May the 4th.
Oh, right, Star Wars Day.
So people were posting about it at 8 or 9 in the morning. Yeah. It's dude, come on.
Not to get too off on a TV tangent, but just one more thing about Shadow Lord, because that end battle was great, but there was a car chase, I think in 1 or 2 episodes before then, that was amazing. When they were trying to get out of the city.
Oh yeah, that was good.
That was my favorite part.
The final, of course, hey kids, it's Darth Vader thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had the same problem with that fight as I did with the fight from Phantom Menace.
Yeah, I was
And
thinking
it
about
lacked, of
your comments
course,
on Phantom Menace while watching it.
it lacked the trash talk. I
Hmm.
mean, it did make sense that Vader would not say anything though, not
Yeah.
just because the voice actor's dead, but the last thing Vader would want is for Maul to figure out who he was,
Right, right.
because that would be a major advantage to
Uh-huh.
Maul, because he could get under his skin and get
Yeah.
into his head if he knew he was Anakin.
Mm. And with regard to the voice actor being dead, James Earl Jones gave them permission to use literally everything he recorded for them. They could make Vader
That's
say
true.
whatever they want if they cut it together. So
It's a Majel Barrett,
yeah.
and both so far neither have really taken advantage of that,
Oh. Um.
which is weird
Uh,
because we've got the AI now.
uh,
They've given their permission before they even knew it was technologically possible for them to
right.
do it,
Well, it was
but they knew
technologically
it was coming.
possible before then. After what 20 years of editing podcasts now, I've said many times, give me 10 minutes of someone talking, and I can cut that up to make them say anything. Because there's always a gap between words.
Yeah.
There's often a gap between syllables. You can cut things up just by hand and make someone say anything if you've got a
Yeah.
sufficient amount of dialogue. So it's AI just made it easier.
The what thousands of hours we have of us.
Mhm. Yeah.
Man, I guess I could kind of live on forever as a computer voice now that I think about it,
Yeah.
even though the audio, that
Mhm.
might not be the best sometimes, especially the older episodes.
Mhm. Anyway, finally, on to this week's movie, which is from 2025, Deathstalker. No, not the original. We reviewed that back in 2014. The remake from last year. I said 2025. And of course, that brings us to the impromptu plot summary, sponsored by magical items that won't let you throw them away. You're probably already fucked.
And also brought to you by Swamp Hugs. For that sweet, dead-raising, moist power, always go in for the Swamp Hug.
Should we have
All
put a
right,
trigger warning on
so
moist?
I was there for that. Was the whole point of it. I still can, choose words for
Mm,
their effect. And
uh,
of course, I went in for the
of
moist.
course.
It's a swamp hug. They're swamp
Yeah,
guys. What
yeah,
else
yeah.
would they be?
Right.
All right. So, yeah, and funny that I really have to go back and listen to our review of the original, because I gave it a 4 and you gave it a 0.
Oh, wow. I was wondering about that. I forgot to check the ratings. Thank you for letting me know. Wow.
So, like a sorted sorcery movie. And I mean, I never thought of it as one of the best ones, but I can't imagine giving it a 0.
Wow. I got to
Like
go back and listen to
what
that again
what
now.
went down?
Yeah.
Yes. Now
Wow.
I'm totally like, I should have wished I'd listened to this before. A
Yeah.
0. Holy shit. That's strong.
I don't remember hating that
All
one.
right.
I don't remember particularly liking it, but I don't remember hating it. Wow. Anyway, continue.
I think there may have been some grape. There's
Ah. Oh, yes,
thing.
yes, yes. That did take away from it.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. Like
Yeah.
you were like not too hot on it, and then
Yes,
there was
yes.
kind of
I
like
forgot that.
a Gilbert Grape sort of thing going on.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And, uh,
Uh-huh.
and it ate at you,
Right.
and it ate away at its score.
Mm.
All right, wordplay tonight. So we have our our mercenary, I guess. Well, he's kind of a scavenger. He's it's a really bloody battle, and of course he is not a part of it. He just kind of comes in at the end and you know takes out pretty much, I don't know how many troops who are there at the end from the other side, and he just starts kind of helping himself to stuff. Unfortunately, he helps himself to a magical amulet that he is now, cursed to own until somebody kills him or some wizard relieves him of the curse. Um, he first realizes this when he has to fight a troll in a bar. Never seen a troll that was like two-headed like that,
Hmm.
but yeah,
I've seen two-headed ogres in video games, particularly WoW, but I've never seen a two-headed troll.
right. And then I guess there was like a three-headed ogre in Monty Python,
Mm, yeah.
um, with the one that snores in the middle.
Mm.
Um, So there's a lot of fighting, of course, and some beautiful splattering, and he goes to find out what the hell this amulet is about. The sage, of course, tells him to go to find this wizard. He goes to find the wizard. The wizard can't read it though. They have to go and get the scrolls to understand what the hell this MacGuffin is about. And well, they find some people from his past that he has to confront. And there's this evil wizard who, of course, there's always an evil wizard.
Hmm.
He's raising an army of the dead, an army of darkness, if you will.
Hmm.
And it's a simple strategy. You defeat your enemies, you convert them into the undead. The one plot hole, of course, is that when they kill Deathstalker,
Hmm.
why don't they do that to him?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be pretty helpful if he's such a good fighter?
Mm.
But they don't. They leave him in the woods to pretty much just rot. But he had made some friends along the way to revive him, and he comes back, and hilarity ensues.
Just like every movie hinges on the no reason, watch the movie Rubber for that reference. Every movie
Right.
has an element of the plot hole that makes it work.
Yeah.
This one just happened to be obvious. Um, we get some great gore right out of the gate. Love that. And throughout the movie.
Probably one of the best opening shots ever, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Because it's like the first frame is like a sword going into the head. It just gotta get open.
Hmm. And I'm gonna be careful how I say this, Dreadites look like Skeletor, which I would thought got a kick out of. Yeah, one of our prospective titles was Sam Raimi gonna sue somebody because this movie takes a lot from Army of Darkness and from Evil Dead in general.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think if Campbell was in better health, they probably would have pursued him.
Uh,
Unless this dude
yeah.
was like the producer or something, which he might have been.
Mm. Speaking of, thank you for setting that up. A bit of trivia. Slash, yes, that Slash served as an executive producer on the film and co-produced or co-composed the theme song along with Bear McCreary and Chuck Sereno. Bear McCreary, I'm sure everyone's heard of. Chuck Sereno's done a lot of B movie scores. Um, that theme song they came up with was only a few seconds long. And before then is this metal cover of the original Deathstalker theme, which I'm surprised I remembered.
I did not. That was in the original.
Hmm.
Damn.
But before we get to that, um, there's that opening scene when we first see Deathstalker. They were really trying hard to mimic Lord of the Rings, weren't they?
Oh, I guess so. The right, the battle.
And
I'm
when
trying to
he,
think of which battle it was.
at the very beginning, when he takes the amulet off of the dying soldier
Yeah.
and kills a bunch of deadites. Yeah. Um, very Lord of the Rings. Although, great fight choreography, too. Got to give it a shout out for that.
I mean, this is kind of like the Dukes of Hazzard remake,
Yeah, yeah.
where
It
it's
is beautifully cheesy and very
yeah,
nicely done cheese. Loved the creature design. The great two-headed troll. You mentioned the troll when he, in the bar. Love that design. And I loved in that fight when Deathstalker breaks his sword and then takes one half of the sword, puts it through one head, the other half of the sword through the other head. I kind of want a video game based on this movie.
yeah.
I play a lot of MMOs, and I feel like an MMO in this universe would be a fucking blast.
You almost wonder why they even had to have the Death Stalker name to it, you know? Why, I
Yeah.
mean,
Well,
how much love was there really for that original Death Stalker?
it's the fifth in the series.
Right.
I'll get to that later during sequels and remakes, but yeah, the Deathstalker movies lasted, the original run, the original four, lasted 8 years, and now they've come back to it. It's been said a lot that this is a remake. It's actually, I feel like the fifth in the series because a lot of time passes. The actor who plays Deathstalker is like 60. Um, in the original movies, he's like between 30 and 38. Or the actors, at least, were. Um, so,
So
This
wait a
is,
minute. They could have actually had the original dude if he was still alive, and he would not be that much older
I think he is still
than
alive.
them.
In the original four movies, three actors played him. So recasting Deathstalker is a bit of a tradition. Great effects when he was in the cave trying to open the chest. They knew how to use the money well to keep it cheesy, but looking good at cheesy.
Yeah. I mean, they knew when something cheesy like the Wraith,
Love the Wraith. Fucking love the Wraith.
just it's so stupid but hilarious.
And then we get the great Patton Oswalt voicing the sorcerer. His real name, if I'm remembering correctly, Dedalad. He's called Doodad throughout the movie.
Just, just terrible.
That was maybe a bit too cheesy for me. And that's saying something.
That is a Graham Chapman.
Yeah, yeah. Too silly. Um,
Yeah,
the makeup on Doodad's body actor, because he's about 3 feet tall. There's a smaller actor in the suit,
yeah,
and then Patton Oswalt voices him. Um, the makeup was really restricting, so you couldn't see their mouth move.
right. And they knew they were just going to be overdubbing him
Mhm.
anyway,
Yeah.
so it saved a lot of sinking. But didn't he look like yogurt?
Yes, yes. Now that you mention it, it was bugging me. I couldn't put the name on it. And Patton Oswalt had to be a good chunk of the budget. He can't be cheap.
Probably. I mean, unless he did it for the love of the game, you never
Yeah,
know.
maybe. That's true. That's true.
And it is only voiceover work,
Right.
so
Yeah. Yeah. And a lot of professional actors can do that at home. They've got the booth if they've done voice acting.
he did the entire Goldberg series, and of course, never. I don't think he ever actually appeared in it.
Uh-huh.
He just did like 30 seconds of narration for each
Okay.
episode, or 1 minute pat
He
tops.
so he probably does have a voiceover booth at home. So he just records his stuff and sends
Oh
it in.
yeah,
The scene where Doodad and Deathstalker are walking through the desert. I swear they walked through the Crate Dragon skeleton from Star Wars.
and what was like? There was a fight of giants in the background at one
Yeah,
point.
well, that was later in the film when he's walking with
Yes.
Brisbane. Um,
Yeah, I didn't mention her, did I?
she comes in later. Got to be careful on that pronunciation, because I'm
Yeah,
so used to pronouncing the city correctly.
right.
But the big bad's name, it's Necromemnon. But when I first
Not
read it,
Necronomicon.
well, I of course thought Necronomicon. But when I first read it, I thought it was Necromenon, and I was gonna do the do 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 every time it was used. And then they had to go and pronounce it as Necromemnon and ruin the gag. Love the bit with the wraith. Doodad summons his wraith to I think it was like as a distraction for this one monster they had to get past.
Yeah, I think he was supposed to attack for him,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
instead he just kept going in the wrong
yeah.
direction.
He had
Just
no control over it, and then it starts attacking Deathstalker, and then just flies off and disappears until later in the movie. Um,
I, I loved just how bad Doodad's
yeah, yeah.
magic was. The whole scene where he's like supposed to be getting the guy on back and missing him
Hmm.
and hitting Stalker
Yes,
instead.
yes.
Sometimes in the balls, of course.
And that's why you needed Oswald. Only he could have pulled off that character, and taken it
Right.
seriously enough.
Because he could do the serious wizard part, then he could do the yeah, I guess
Mhm.
just I just didn't work. Sorry.
It's like the Star Wars rant in the Parks and Rex episode. He can say the most
Yeah.
ridiculous shit and completely sell it as serious.
Did you hear like I think Filoni took some of his stuff
Oh wow.
and told him, yeah, did that just for you to make it come true.
Nice. Loved Brisbane, the thief, telling them to shut up because they're not the only ones trying to sneak into the crypt.
It's a very small party. I
Mhm.
mean,
Yeah.
they kind of missed the cleric,
Uh-huh.
or
But
whatever.
they don't.
Uh,
Well, I arguably Deathstalker is a barbarian. If we're gonna go down the
Yeah,
D&D route,
right.
I'll count him as a barbarian. I was gonna say fighter, but we'll work. He's a tank.
Yeah,
You got the magic user. The you're ranged. Um, you got the thief. They are missing a healer. That's really all they're missing.
yeah.
Um,
They should have had the swamp guy join them.
hmm. What was up with the zombie pigman who attacked them in the crypt? Where did that thing come from? It's the only one of them we see in the movie.
Uh, yeah, they, they did. They love just throwing things out of nowhere, which is what makes
Hmm. Yeah.
this film so enjoyable.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
There's a lot of you're just like, what the fuck? What is that's even a line in the movie?
yeah,
What the fuck is
yeah.
that? It's one of my favorite lines.
I think I might have that in my notes at one point. I'm not sure when it happened. Um,
It's when he comes riding in on the Wraith
oh,
and
right. Yes.
it's like what the after his Eve is a speech. What the fuck is that?
uh, but back to the zombie pigman. I love the
Yes.
gore when Deathstalker just rips off the top of his head.
Yeah. Oh, the gore is just a thing of
Mm.
beauty in this.
And that's the
More so
genius.
than a Raimi, I would even
Yeah,
say.
yeah. They learned from Raimi, and they took it past where they found it.
Yeah.
Because they knew, and you might talk me up. You might actually talk me up to a five. They knew what to keep cheesy and what to take seriously.
They were at asylum level spatter, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. But it's like the platonic ideal of a B movie because they knew
Yeah.
exactly where to take it seriously.
They even skipped the romantic subplot.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh,
oh, wait a minute.
I
I'm
mean,
wrong.
hmm?
The swamp people and Deathstalker.
If it was Deathstalker and the Thief, I mean, she's like 20 something, he's 60. Mm.
Like, look, 30, 40 years ago,
Yeah,
that would have
true. Unfortunately.
been
Yeah.
that would have totally been where they went.
Right.
But it's 2025,
Mm-hmm.
so the year they made it, not the
Yeah,
year we're
yeah.
doing this.
Right.
And it should have been the Swamp Man and Deathstalker. And you know what?
Right.
I think in my head canon, they do
Yeah.
get
I
back
mean,
together.
your headcanon can be whatever you want it to be. For me, it's Doodad in the Wraith.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
Deathstalker
It's a
taking.
power imbalance, though.
True. You're fair. Okay, scrap that one. Um, Deathstalker taking down the stone creature by opening the port in its back and letting the fluid spill out reminded me of the bit in that Defiance episode where Nolan took down the Bioman because he knew exactly where to punch it.
It was some sort of motor oil or whatever.
Yeah, some kind of
Kept
fluid
going.
that
Who
was
knows?
making it animated. A humoral, I guess. If you know that reference. Deathstalker runs up against an old nemesis early in the film and cuts his arm off. They bring him back. They replace the arm with a monstrous one, very reminiscent of Ash from Evil Dead.
Kind of. I mean, it has more.
It doesn't try
Well,
to choke
you're
him
right.
out,
The
but
hand possession, you're
yeah.
right. I didn't think of that part.
Uh-huh.
Um, but yeah, this has more of a, it's more of a weapon that
Mhm.
he gets to use than that.
Right.
I was hoping after they had this long discussion that the fight was just going to be over in like a couple of
Yeah.
seconds. I was really like, is he just gonna like chop his head off again and just like walk away? And then, like a holy grail sort of thing.
And Necromemnon looks like a mix of like Dracula from the old Dracula from the Coppola movie with like an Utapauan from the prequels.
I was thinking he was more like Al Lewis. He was more like
Yeah.
Grandpa Munster.
Fair. Um, the fucking giants fighting in the background when Brisbane and
I
Deathstalker are
never
just
mentioned it.
walking through this field chatting. Yet they don't say jack about it. It's
They
beautiful.
don't. It's just
And the fucking
uh,
And the fucking ninja mummy, as I call it, that attacks him in that destroyed camp. It's got this like throwing star, mechanical throwing star on the end of a chain, and it like portals around. It's a fucking ninja mummy.
Right. Yeah. Again, that's like the only time you see this thing.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
explanation. It's just there.
When he kills
And
the
yeah.
two-headed troll, the troll says all of the best assassins will be after you or something like that.
All right.
And I think I remember Doodad referring to the ninja mummy as an assassin. So I think that was a callback to that.
All right. So yeah, same with the pig.
That's fair. That's fair. I like how they turned, IRL crystal nonsense into fantasy magic. That was a nice touch. Um, there was a nice callback to the first movie during the prophecy. They showed a clip of the first movie.
Oh shit. Okay. So they did actually work some of the first movie into
Mm-hmm.
it. I
Just a short clip.
remember very little of the first movie. Can't remember what year we reviewed that first movie. It was a long time ago though.
And now the thing that's kind of maybe holding me back from a five, because it's just so stupid. The magic sword that he has to get to kill the big bad has four blades. Now, I understand, like, it's for a very particular application because you're supposed to stab the four hearts of the monster,
Yeah.
but it's implied that it's just a good general sword. It's a fucking worthless piece of shit because with a two handed sword, you can control it by going in between the blades. Outside of that very particular use, it's a comically bad weapon. There's a YouTube channel I watch called Sellsword Arts. It's about fencing, HEMA fencing, and they occasionally will take the piss out of fantasy weapons. I so want them to
Yeah.
talk about this thing, just to see how much they rant about it. Um,
I mean, it's an absurd film though,
yeah,
you know.
yeah. It's just that was I study the blade as I've mentioned before. I'm a sword guy, so that was just a bridge too far for me. Um,
I am disappointed that that wasn't a setup to make like a shaving razor joke, you know,
yeah,
because
yeah.
how they have the extra blades.
Right, right. That would have been good.
I was kind of waiting for it. It was like, wow, they didn't. That was so obvious that they were. I thought that's where they were going with it.
Oh, the other groan from me was naming one of the villains Grendel.
Oh, which villain was Grendel?
The one who took the amulet to sell it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that whole Chris Elliott guy. It's just kind of like, I'm
well,
hot.
that was the prince who was buying. Love the prince.
Yeah,
Total
yeah,
fop. Probably queer.
yes.
But Grendel was the woman who was going to sell it to him, who was like the head of the guild.
Oh, right, the head of the thieving guild.
Um, if you've read Beowulf, or if you, of course, you've
Of
read Beowulf
course.
because we've all
Yeah,
read Beowulf. If you remember, Grendel was the monster in Beowulf.
yeah.
So that was just a wah wah. Um, when they were going through the death swamp, I had to wonder if the swamp was inhabited by rodents of unusual size. Oh, and there was a Wilhelm during the swamp monster attack. I always have my ears open for a Wilhelm.
So yeah, the whole swamp monster turn or swerve wasn't all that surprising to me because I was like, wait a minute, the swamp creatures helped Deathstalker. Why would he fight him when they were like about to go at it?
Mm,
So, you know,
yeah,
it wasn't a swerve,
right,
it made a lot of sense.
right.
Now, I mean, who knew it was going to go as far as it did?
Loved seeing Grendel get her head ripped off with that little bit of spine sticking out.
Yeah.
And Doodad stopped the swamp monsters, that's hard to say, from attacking with music. Brisbane, the thief, has this pipe, woodwind instrument that she was playing very badly. Doodad takes it, plays it beautifully, and it calms the swamp monsters.
He's a genuine Picard, I would say.
Yeah. And of course, the hug was just genius. Fucking genius.
Just so awkward and then not awkward and
Uh,
then too long so it was awkward again. So it goes through this whole thing in just like what, 30 seconds.
and then the swamp monster slowly waving to them as they rode away.
I like how first, it was kind of like, really, I'm not gonna do that. And then he does, and he's like
Uh,
enjoying it, and like it's lasting too long, and you can see the monsters looking awkward. Like, okay.
and that foppish, probably gay prince who was going to buy the amulet was named Balder, another womp womp. Yeah, Baldur's Gate.
Yeah.
I did not expect Joe Tack to kill Deathstalker with like a half hour left in the movie. That
Yeah,
that
but
was a
you
swerve.
knew there had to have been something.
Obviously, he
Yeah,
couldn't. He had to come back for the half hour
right,
left. Um, if it was at the very end, I'd applaud the balls to kill the title character. But no, he forced him
right.
to come back.
It would have been like my Star Blazer swerve 20
Right, right,
minutes in
right,
where it's just like, oh, they bombed it, they blew it up, and
right.
oh, looks like I need to find another way to get to Iskandar.
Mm. And Prince Balder's death was very alien and pretty homoerotic. Um, Jotek puts his hand up and palm toward the prince, and this little mouth on a stalk comes out and goes down the prince's throat.
Oh, right, the whatever is in his hand with his
Mm-hmm.
he uses it as a sword eventually.
Right.
That's how he fights
Yeah.
Deathstalker in the end
Mm-hmm.
with like a hand bone sword.
Deus Mach, yeah, Deus Mach in a hand.
Yeah,
I can't think of a clever way of saying that. And the Swamp Monsters resurrecting Deathstalker was a nice payoff from the hug.
yeah. I felt like it was all earned, the
Mhm.
hug,
Yeah, yeah.
the resurrection. Yeah.
Yeah, none of it was too. I mentioned Deus Ex Machina. None of it was very Deus Ex Machina. Nothing was, out of nowhere.
And that's saying something because we've seen serious movies
Yeah, yeah,
that didn't earn
yeah,
what they actually did in this absurd movie.
yeah. In this cheese fest, they earn
Right.
everything. Um,
But I mean, they'll have giants fighting in the
yeah,
background, but they'll earn the fucking
yeah.
resurrection.
And then they bring back the fucking wraith to fly Deathstalker to Necromemnon.
Yes.
Because apparently the swamp monsters can control it. And then Doodad and Necromemnon square off, and it's fucking rock'em sock'em skeletons.
Yes.
They both they're magic users. They create these animated skeletons, and the skeletons fight.
And yeah, they're not good. Neither one of them.
Oh. And I love that Deathstalker turned Jotak into a deadite before killing him.
You know what I was gonna say when we were talking about the crystals
Mm.
creating things, that's how they would create the deadites.
Right.
Would they had these kind of stone crystals, they would come and it would grow into it.
Yeah.
He put one down Jotek's throat.
Yeah.
So the deadite created, within him and
And then
blew
burst
him
out.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alien style.
And I almost fell out of my chair laughing when Deathstalker called the four bladed and atrocity a perfect sword. I mean, unless that's like a knowing joke, which I'm kind of willing to give it at this point. Like they know it's a horrible sword.
They keep talking about how great a sword it is, but he removed a blade
Yeah,
pretty easily. He just popped one of the blades out like it was a battery of a remote control.
he had to save the thief who had been consumed by Cytor. So he just pops out one of the blades like it was meant to come out and stabs the other three hearts. Um,
Yes. Yes.
it was kind of ridiculous. And yeah, even more reason it's a horrible fucking weapon.
Right.
Although I do appreciate that Deathstalker chose not to take power at the end. They told him that with that sword he could walk in to the castle and take the throne. He just gets rid of it at the end. Or he tries to get Doodad to zap it, and of course Doodad can't hit it, or is deliberately hitting Deathstalker, depending on how you want to interpret it.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a good question if he's intentionally
Yeah,
busting his balls
right.
or
Uh-huh.
he can't do it. My guess is he's hitting Deathstalker on
Yeah,
purpose.
that's what I think too. Sequels and remakes.
I'd be game for another one of these without a
I mean,
doubt.
there's already five of them. Why not one more? Starting with Deathstalker, the original, the one we reviewed in '83, which starred Rick Hill as Deathstalker. Deathstalker 2 in '87, which starred John Terlesky as Deathstalker. Deathstalker and the Warriors from Hell from '88, which starred John Allen Nelson as Deathstalker. And then Rick Hill came back in 1991 for Deathstalker 4, Match of Titans. And now this one starring Daniel Bernhardt.
We didn't review any of the others, did we?
No, no, no. I didn't even know the others existed until I was doing my research for this review like last night and saw it's the fifth.
I had seen the second one as a kid. I'd
Uh,
seen the first one, of course, as a kid too. And the second one I remember being horrendous. I mean, the second one was really bad.
Although it's entirely possible that I listed, four of those five or three of those five in the sequels remix the last time we did this in 2014. So, yeah, I just forgot about them since then.
Holy shit, it was 2014, huh?
Yeah.
12 years ago.
Well, not quite
All
because
right.
it was later in the year. Anyway, a little under 12 years, yeah.
Okay.
On the brains.
On the brains.
You talked me up. Like I said, it is the platonic ideal, and I'm going to use that reference in the next episode we're recording, uh, of a B movie. I got to go five.
I'm gonna go five as well. It's funny. It's quirky, and they knew exactly what they were doing. They knew what kind of movie they were making, and they went and earned parts of the plot that serious movies didn't do so well. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's an easy five.
And what have you learned?
Piggybacks. It is the only way to fly, unless of course you've booked a Wraith.
And I learned that saving the world is not enough of a reward. And that's it for Deathstalker. Until next time, we'll be reviewing Weird, the Al Yankovic story. Been looking forward to this one.
Me too. Years.
Until then, of course, always remember, never forget, wherever you go in life,
There
there
you
you
are.
are.